what is it you do every week as a Google Ads manager? So we get asked that a lot. We get asked a couple of questions. Why do I have to pay you month over month? And what is it that you do week over week, day to day? Answer is quite simple. We're working on improvements. It's that there might be a lot of heavy lifting one week. There might be a lot of adjustments and changes made at the back end of the week. There might be a week that we don't really touch anything, but we're still watching and observing. It's an interesting life of a Google PPC manager, or any kind of PPC manager, whether you're in Google Ads, you're in display, you're in YouTube. I think the same goes along with Facebook to a point on what you're doing and what you're adjusting and what you're managing. But week over week and month over month, we've got a checklist of what we do for each account. We're keeping notes, so we use a management system to make sure that we have notes in there. We've got multiple eyeballs on each account, and the reason for that is to make sure that we have people that have certain styles. Everybody has a different style of way they do things. Think of it as a baseball player with a batting stance, right? Everybody has a different warm up, different cadence, different swing plane. Everything they do is different. There's no two similar, two identical baseball players. So the same can be said about a PPC manager. I can sit there and I can train everybody in my office to do, this, and this. I can have it set up and I can have it on a worksheet and say, I want you to do all these things this way. But how their eye is trained, how they end up doing their work is always different. So it's not right. That's not wrong. It's just what their cadence is and what their repetitions are. So when you layer another manager on top of that and have somebody else look at it, then things don't get missed, and they're seeing stuff and making adjustments and having conversations with other account managers inside the office and saying, yeah, I noticed this with John's account. Do you want to make those changes, or would you like me to make an adjustment and see what happens to it? And then you've got the boss who comes and goes as he pleases, makes adjustments on the fly, puts in notes that some people can and can't read, and then forgets completely about it. That would be me. So I'm also in the account making changes or looking at stuff or asking questions. I know it's kind of annoying to some people, but I'm spot checking as many accounts as I can. But to answer it cleanly, week over week, we're constantly trying to find ways to make improvements, find ways to get the best bang for your buck when it goes through. And honestly, depending on the ad spend, depending on how many campaigns, it's all dependent on that. So if there's a lot of ad copy that needs to be changed, which usually doesn't happen. Now, if you layer in display ads and you layer in YouTube, there's a bunch of different stuff that goes into that as well. So as a PPC manager, a pay-per-click manager, or a Google Ads manager, or same with Microsoft, the ad copy usually doesn't make as much of an adjustment. You're not making as many changes. You're spot checking to make sure conversion tracking is working. You might be adjusting what landing pages you're using to see if the landing pages have problems. If you see a massive swing in conversion where it was going really well and all of a sudden it dropped off a cliff, you're going through and you're trying to troubleshoot why would those leads go off, what was made for changes, were there changes that made behind it, was there stuff that was changed on the website. We have clients that will make changes on their website. They will change their domain name, they will change the provider, they will shut things down, they won't tell us at all, and they're spending their money. They don't realize that they're spending money and losing money by doing that. But those are all the things we're doing week over week. So if you're making changes on your website and you're wondering, what am I paying my PPC manager for? Well, the answer to that question is to save you hundreds or thousands of dollars that you could have thrown away because you forgot that making a simple change in one spot shut everything down or broke everything on the conversion tracking, or all of a sudden you don't have any leads coming through. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But honestly, a day-to-day for a PPC manager is having communication with the client, for driven leads. So I'm speaking in terms of my team in my office. We've got a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of phone calls, texting back and forth. There's a lot of tickets going back and forth. We call them tickets to emails to you. And then adjustments being made. We have clients that'll come in and say, hey, we want to push here, pull back here. So we're making those changes and adjustments as well on the fly. But yeah, every day is a new, brings a new. And, the summer is a really good example of things being just wonky on the fly. So you've got a major holiday in July. You could have forest fires that knock out part of the country that they're not getting as much views as you would think. You've got extreme heat in Arizona right now. You've got extreme heat where people are, the search goes down a little bit because people aren't thinking about buying a house because they're only thinking about, God, it's super hot, I don't want to do anything. No different than in the winter in the north where it's super cold and nobody wants to do anything in the cold. So you've got your ebbs and your flows with traffic. You've got your ebbs and your flows with conversion. And all we're trying to do is trying to navigate that for the client, make sure the leads come in the way they're supposed to, and ensure that the show goes on, so to speak. So yeah, there's work every week. Yes, we're touching every account. Yes, there's times that you might not touch things. If you have a great week, why would we adjust anything? So if you have a site that's having just an absolute great month, great week, the adjustments might be minimal, but at the same time, that's what you want. You could hope for that, hope for nothing but perfection, and just keeping an eye on it, making sure somebody's got an eyeball on it to ensure that it doesn't go wonky. But if you have any questions on sort of what our cadence is and what we look for and where the adjustments are from week to week, month to month, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, all that kind of stuff, we've got a list of things that we do. We've got a sort of a cadence in our office that we do things. And then we've got personalities that do things different as well. So that kind of makes it unique to each one of our accounts. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below. If you have anything else you want me to answer for questions that you might have, I'd always love to chat about that. But hope this helps you answer, hope this answers a couple of questions for you, and hope all is well. Have a great day.